Hey, I know I'm a bit too late to cover this news, but I do want to talk about the gacha revenue topic. And that is because I find this one particularly very interesting actually. And that is because Honkai Star is way above Genshin Impact and Genshin Impact was able to stay consistent with their earning. Zenzo Zero is like very decent, but at the same time, I'm kind of surprised that they didn't earn as much as Honkai Star or Genshin Impact, right? Because they did release two characters around these past few months, August and September, and that is Jane Doe and Caesar. And there's a reason to all of that. Don't worry, I will explain it later. And let's talk about Wuthering Waves as well, because Wuthering Waves is the reason why this channel even exists. Wuthering Waves, I do find it like one of the best gacha game out there, and unfortunately, it is a bit too difficult for the mobile players to play. I do find that most people that play Wuthering Waves play in PC because it's a lot easier to control, and not to mention there's a controller support. Meanwhile, in mobile, I believe they did release it recently, or they will release it around next month. I'm not too sure about that. Oh yeah, we will talk about this. I know there's like a inconsistent when it comes to earnings in gacha revenue, and they did make a slight changes here and there from time to time, and we're gonna talk about all of that. First things first, let's talk about Love and Deepspace. Love and Deepspace have always been around the corner. I've never really noticed it. Why? How is it even there? I suppose the gacha space, the female part of the gacha space, are supporting this game this whole time. Love and Deepspace. See, right around the corner, over there, right, we're now at number 2. And even here, I believe it's still there. Yeah, it's always been at the top, and it stayed very consistent. And now it's at the top. It's crazy, but it is what it is. That's this Honkai Star Rail. Now, Honkai Star, I know it's a turn-based game, and I've never really been into turn-based game, but Honkai Star Rail seems like it's going so well ever since the start, and now they release a new character. I mean, I suppose it's old character, it's a past character now, but during that time, it got so much talk. Fei Xiao, this character right here, she looks awesome. Even when I look at her, I think like, wow, what a design. And she's like a general, the great general like in general. She's like having this military vibe. I think it's really cool. And we also have like a small clips of her and this Jing Yuan, I believe. I don't really play the game, so I don't really know the character's name. But this whole animation thing, she looks amazing. I would pull for her if I were to play the game, but obviously I didn't. And I think this is one of their best looking character, in my opinion. I'm not talking about the facts here, but I still think she is really good. And yeah, I believe that is one of the reasons why the market for Honkai Star is a lot higher. I don't know what else is going on unless other than the story. So Honkai Star Rail, I do think that the story of Honkai Star is a lot better compared to Genshin Impact. A lot have said, and Genshin Impact, you know how it is with Genshin Impact. It's a lot slower. It's a lot more. Well, the pacing is terrible. It's pretty bad. And as always, Genshin Impact stalls you from doing the actual plot. Instead, we have to do a lot of chores. It's always been like that with Genshin Impact. So it's kind of natural for it to be down here. Now we're gonna talk about Genshin Impact. Genshin Impact stayed the same as always. The amount of earning they've earned stayed consistent. They never really fell off too hard, okay? As you can see, it's 27 million, and that is because Mualani dropped, Kinich dropped, and we also have a Raiden Shogun. Raiden Shogun C2 have always been the best constellation in the game, and it still is. People will always try to pull for her, even the F2P wait around to get her C2. It's only natural. But other than that, Netland drop, right? So Netland drop, we have a character called Mualani, and she's kind of a must pull in a way, and not really, but because we're in Netland and we have all these mechanics, so we have to get these characters. It's like a FOMO thing. If you miss out on these characters, you can't do these things. You have to use a mechanic that was given in the game, and it kind of reduces amount of things that you can do in the game. Like you look at this gameplay right here. It's a lot more better than just playing a monster that can jump around and swing around the area. Netland is a big world. There's a lot of climbing to do, and you kind of need these characters. As you can see, we have also like Naruto Mobile. Now I know some of you may not heard, especially around the gacha community where I came from. We only know like Hoyoverse name and Kuro Games name. Like that is about it. But Naruto Mobile have been around for a while. In my YouTube recommendation, it's weird because I've never really searched for those things, right? But if you look through this trailer, just keep watching, and there's like this really cool animation scenes, and it's insanely quality. The fight scenes they've added into this, it's great. There's like a bunch of other characters like Madara and all that stuff. Rock Lee, one of the characters in Naruto as well. He has this Bruce Lee thing going on is so cool. It's one of the greatest marketing I've seen in a while. Yeah, the animations are way better than Genshin Impact, to be honest. But once you play the game, I mean, the game is well, it's very questionable. But I can see how people will still enjoy the game. It's very understandable. But it is cool. The whole animation, the trailer for the characters, like Neji being this Wing Chun like Ip Man, it looks really cool. Okay, enough about Naruto Mobile. Nobody want to talk about it. Me especially, I don't really care, but it's still I find it very interesting how it played out. Now, Zone Zero, as we all know, currently we have Caesar banner. Caesar is one of the most versatile characters in the game. I promise you, you won't regret pulling for her. But of course, I understand that you can't get everyone, and Bernice is coming after her. She's also seen a very reliable unit in this game, and we also had Jane Doe before this. So continuously, we keep getting characters that are very very useful to the game, and honestly I don't know what to do, and I can't believe I got so lucky with my pulls. Of course I miss Jane Doe, but that's okay. Now Jane Doe is one of these characters that I find it like wow, fan service insane, but she's also meta. She's insanely strong. Like this whole thing, you can build her right, get all the anomalies, and you can kind of one shot your bosses. She is really good. She's insane, and she's hot. And there's no question about it that she is gonna sell well. Not to mention we have new plot, right? And this plot of Sons of Clyden thing, it looks really cool. The whole area seems fun. And we have Caesar looking really cool. We have a new character. He looks amazing. And when we play the game, we have this bit of gameplay of him doing some kind of burst or skill attack towards the enemy. It's fun that they did that because the character is not released yet. I'm not even sure if there's any gameplay of him, but there probably is. There probably is. He's probably gonna come up next patch, I believe. But yeah, we have Caesar, and then after this we're gonna have Bernice. So I'm kind of surprised that they didn't earn more than Honkai Star Rail. To me, I find it that the gameplay in Zenless Zero is so fun, and it's just very addictive, to be honest. But still, they are able to stay very consistent with their earnings. And if you can see in the past, they've also made, well, honestly, quite a huge drop, but it really doesn't matter. I think Hoyoverse, they don't really need as much as you think. With other games that they've already made, Honkai Star and Genshin Impact earning a huge, insane amount, Zenless Zero can earn as much as they did. And 19 million, I mean, honestly, it's a huge thing. Mind you, this whole thing is still just iOS or mobile right now. I mean, there's no involvement with PC players, and I'm a PC player. A lot of content creators are PC players. Those are the people that mostly you see in YouTube that S sits their characters, C sits, M sits their characters. They're probably playing in PC because they want to beat the game. Needless to say, this is only still early in the month, and they're probably gonna earn so much more doing Caesar and Bernice banner. I have no doubts, probably around 25 million tops. But yeah, let's talk about well, let's talk about Wuthering Waves. Well, I don't know what to say about Wuthering Waves because again, we had Shangli Yao before, and Shangli Yao is a male character. And most of the people that play gacha games are mainly males, and we want waifu. A bunch of these people want waifu, me included. Of course, I wouldn't mind some cool looking guy as well. I love it. I like Shangli Yao's design. I'm surprised people don't pull for him that much. I do try to get his weapon as well because we got him for free, not to mention that. So it's only natural for the earnings of core games drop. Again, I want to mention that most of the people that play Wuthering Waves played in PC, considering how difficult the game is. Ain't no way anybody can beat the endgame content, Tower of Adversity, or the hologram content in Wuthering Waves by using mobile. I do not believe that is possible. Dodging it is impossible. I couldn't bear with it. I played it already in the tab, and it's very difficult and just annoying to control. But they did release like a controller port now. I really hope that more people start playing as well because Wuthering Waves is such a great game. And it's just it's very odd that it didn't get as much advertisement that I've seen so far. I've seen Genshin Impact getting so much. Wuthering Waves kind of dropped their advertisement in a way. I don't see it anywhere anymore. I've seen other games, gun games and stuff like that. Fate I've seen. Zenless Zero is an obvious, well, I've seen it so many times. But Wuthering Waves, I barely seen it anywhere. I do think it's a good game. and I know it's very difficult. The controller support will definitely make a huge change in the mobile space, okay? And I'm sure it's gonna get a lot of raise in Wuthering Waves in the future. Again, I have to say it, and this is still early, so Wuthering Waves still haven't covered fully when it comes to the Shorekeeper earnings. And because Shorekeeper is a game-changing unit, there is no doubt. There is no doubt. Okay, I think we covered all the games that we need to, and I'm not gonna go through all of it, of course. I mean, I kind of want to go to the solo leveling thing, but it's a very disappointing game. Turns out, I know when I first looked at it, I was kind of interested. I looked like, oh, it looks like a cool game. It's a very high quality, AAA kind of games, but unfortunately, it didn't stay that way. I also want to talk about Guilin Chao right here, down here, and I've seen a lot of gameplays how they use like 2D mechanics. It looks really cool. Really wanna talk about it, but unfortunately, there's just so much game to cover already, and there's just not enough time to cover all of them. Now, I didn't even bother playing Honkai Star because of how much we already have. I like Genshin Impact. That's the first few gacha games that I played. And Zenless Zero is already pretty amazing to not make me complain about Genshin Impact anymore. Trust me, I complained about Genshin Impact so many times in the past. And because Wuthering Waves' existence, I have no issue with Genshin Impact anymore. I feel like Wuthering Waves covered what Genshin couldn't, and Genshin covered what Wuthering Waves couldn't. The games are different in a way, but they're also definitely very, very similar. There is no doubt about that. And also, I have been trying to make like different content in the game. I tried to make like a gameplay video of Wuthering Waves and Zenless Zero, and probably even Genshin Impact as well. I'm trying to do more than just covering news and have some gameplay videos add on to my channel. I like making gameplay videos. It's really fun. And I like to talk about it while I like to talk about things, how the character do this and that in the game while I'm playing it. And of course, I still will cover some news topics, stuff like this, gacha revenue. Talking about Reddit stuff is fun. It's an enjoyable thing to do. Trashing on Genshin Impact more in the future. That is probably gonna come sooner or later, I'm sure. But yeah, thank you for watching the video. See ya.